Um, Today is June 25th, Thursday. I just got home from school and it was a hard day. I made it harder on myself. Um, for some reason, I've got in my head, and so it's harder for me to. When you're going through something and you're in pain, it's harder for you to inflict pain on somebody else. So I'm afraid that I'm gonna cause pain. So my touch is real gentle. My needle insertion isn't deep enough because I feel like I'm going to hurt them. But I just so happened to be talking to one of the other students that I've never had a conversation with. I just was standing over them watching. And the girl told me, she said, I just want you to know I love your accent. I love the way you talk. It sounds so soothing, so calm to me. And I said, thank you. I really appreciate that because I hate to hear my own voice recorded. It's crazy. But so here I sit in my almost complete podcast studio that I set up um, last year. I went and bought the paint. I painted it. I put my name on the wall. I ordered mics. I already had lights. My best friend gave me a Ring camera stand. And so I had everything. I ordered some bar stools. They got lost somewhere. When the bar stools got lost, I think that's when I gave up. When I was like, you know what? Maybe it's not meant for me. And so I kept running from what God was calling me from because I always knew I was a messenger. I've always had a message. I've always been able to see both sides of everything. So I've always been a message. When your life is in a mess, you don't really feel like you can um, provide a message. And sometimes the mess is the message. I've been living a lie, if you will. I've been wearing several masks, several hats. Um, I've been pretending to be strong, to have it all together, to think I knew what I was doing. And on several occasions, I've been convicted where God says, um, your message is in your mess because somebody got to know that I can do it for you just like I can do it for them. And so, I ponder with that because I hate being vulnerable. I hate being vulnerable. But the thing about it is, I don't really give a fuck about what nobody says about me. So the vulnerability part and not really caring. And I don't mean that in a real arrogant way. I mean that in you can say and criticize me as much as you want, but you can't walk in my shoes. Nobody can. And so you can say, shit, my forehead big, my hair is nappy. It is. It's flat. I got a hair appointment. You could say, I don't have any eyebrows. I've been doing that. I got a big forehead. Like there's nothing that anybody on there can say that I haven't heard before. So I don't know what the vulnerable part about being afraid to be vulnerable except for maybe. When I get on here, I ask that God shows more of him through me. So more of God and less of me. So maybe the vulnerability part comes where I'm afraid of being a fraud. Okay. And when I say being a fraud, meaning I'm able to articulate what God is wanting me to give you the message when that's not what he's doing. He's saying, show them you, show them what you go through, and let them know that you go through it too. I am an older Black woman living in the Bible Belt racist part of the South, right? I see here a statistic beater because all of the things that was done to me, that was said about me, that boxes I've been put in, categories I've been put in, none of that shit matters. It only matters what I think of me and what God does through me. Um, I have a really hard time trusting myself, and that is trauma because I rock by myself. I go where I want to go. I don't have to have a crowd. I don't have to have anybody. I can go in any place by myself, head held high, no shame, no, I'm feeling myself. I don't have a problem with that. But there's something about me trusting in my intuition that I have not completely grasped with. I took a test yesterday, and it was some information that I had already learned. And I would click the right answer and still go check it in the book. And I said, "Damn, what's up, sis? You don't even trust your own self. Where the fuck did that come from? Why don't you trust you?" And so I pondered on that. On the way to school, I said, I may not have the ideal life, you know, uh, spin that shit. I done did it. But in my own right, I am successful. I am what they thought that the statistical would be: poor, black, project living, several baby daddies, strung out, um, ran through, like, all of the things that has been said about me that was put on my life even before I even knew what my life was. So as a kid, these stigmas and these titles and these assumptions were put on my life as a kid. And I'm the type of person that I'm gonna prove you wrong every time. And they said you can't have kids. I had three. They said you can't go to school to do this. I went, I did that, I did that, I did that, I did that, I did that. And here I stand, going to a class with children that are my kids' age, and my test scores are better, you know. And that's not being arrogant, that's not being cocky or anything. That's giving glory to God because of the things that He allowed me to go through. But He said, "You went through it, you got dirty, but you came out clean. You were a diamond, you were a coal, and I had to, you know." I had to rough you up and turn you into a diamond. I had to press you to make you gold. I had to take you through the storms so that you can go tell my people what I've done. Now, bless you, it's probably the hardest seasons that I've went through in a long time. And while I'm not fully ready to go into detail, I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy. But what I will say is, what I can lean on is my faith. That's the first thing. I have to have faith. And it starts when having faith in God, which I've never lost my faith in God. I lost my faith in myself because I've, disappointed myself a few times. You have to have a village. You have to have some people that really care about you. And I'm not talking about the people that just heart your shit on your post or say, I'm here for you. Now I'm talking about the kind of sister love that pulls up, the kind that checks on you, that puts you in check and say, okay, you've been down. I gave you your 3 days, your 2 to 3 business days to feel the pity party. It's time to get back up. You need a village. You need faith. And you have to have um, a goal. And when I say goal, I mean a small goal. Like today, I want to smile at somebody. Today, I want to feel happy. Today, I want to laugh from my guts. And you have to have those moments to yourself where you can put yourself in check. But by the grace of God, I'm still standing. I crawled and then I got up. I'm still standing. I dusted my knees off. I've been through the storm. I've been through the desert. I've been through hell. I walked through hell. I danced with the devil. I came out unscathed. I don't feel like that there's nothing that I can do through Christ who strengthens me. And He has given me so much strength. So remember when I told y'all this was me getting on the right path to healing and becoming whole? Stay with me. Stay with me. Please stay with me. And if you need some support or you need somebody to hold your hand or you are also going through a storm, let's go through it together. Because we better, greater in numbers where two or more are gathered.